Great. Sustainability and environmentalism are important topics in the modern era, and there are many different angles to explore within this field. Here are some possible subtopics we could discuss. 1. Climate change. This can include topics like the impact of human activity on the climate, the effects of climate change on the planet, and the policies and technologies that can be used to mitigate climate change. 2. Energy. This can include topics like renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, and hydroelectric power, the transition away from fossil fuels, and the advances in battery technology. 3. Circular economy. This can include topics like waste management, product design for longevity and recyclability, and new business models centered around closed-loop systems. 4. Biodiversity and conservation. This can include topics like habitat destruction, species extinction, and the impact of climate change on ecosystems. 5. Environmental justice and equity. This can include topics like the disproportionate impact of pollution on disadvantaged communities, the intersection of environmentalism and social justice, and the role of systemic racism in environmental policy. These are just some ideas to get us started. Let me know which subtopic you'd like to focus on, and we can dive deeper into the subject.
Which podcasts on the topic would you recommend?
There are many great podcasts out there that explore sustainability and environmentalism from a variety of perspectives. Here are 5 popular options. 1. Sustainababble. This podcast is hosted by 2 British environmentalists who use humor and their unique perspectives to discuss the latest news and ideas related to sustainability. 2. The Energy Gang, hosted by 3 veteran clean energy experts. This podcast explores the latest trends, technologies and policies shaping the transition to a low-carbon energy system. 3. The Anthropocene Reviewed. Although not solely focused on sustainability and environmentalism, John Green's podcast reviews different aspects of human life through the lens of the Anthropocene, the current geological epoch defined by human activity's profound impact on the planet. 4. Living on Earth, a weekly radio and podcast show produced by Public Radio International, PRI, that covers current environmental issues, stories relating to culture and the environment, and interviews with thought leaders. 5. Mother Earth News and Friends, a podcast that explores different topics related to homesteading, organic gardening, and sustainable living. These are just a few options, and there are many more podcasts out there that explore sustainability and environmentalism.
Let's discuss topic 1, climate change.
Climate change is a crucial issue that affects our planet and the way we live. It refers to the long-term changes in the Earth's temperature, atmospheric composition, and weather patterns. These changes have been largely attributed to human activities such as the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, leading to significant consequences such as sea level rise, increased frequency of extreme weather events, and species extinction. Would you like me to look up more information, or do you have any specific questions?
Yes, please continue.
In recent years, there has been an increasing recognition of the need to address the issue of climate change, with many countries making efforts to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions and shift towards renewable energy sources. The Paris Agreement, signed in 2015, is one such international effort to combat climate change, with the goal of limiting global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. However, despite these efforts, there is still a long way to go in order to achieve sustainable and equitable solutions that can effectively address climate change. It is important for individuals, governments, and businesses to take action and make changes in their daily lives that can contribute towards a more sustainable future. If you want, I can look up more specific information on climate change, its impacts, and solutions to address it.
Yes, please continue.
Recent research on climate change has shown that some of the key impacts include rising sea levels, more frequent and severe heat waves, and changes in precipitation patterns that can lead to droughts in some areas and flooding in others. These impacts are projected to continue and worsen unless more aggressive actions are taken to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and limit global warming. Some potential solutions to address climate change include increasing the use of renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power, promoting energy efficiency measures, implementing carbon pricing schemes, and reducing or eliminating the use of fossil fuels. Additionally, many individuals are taking action by adopting more sustainable lifestyle choices such as reducing meat consumption, driving less, and reducing energy consumption in their homes. There are also many international efforts to address climate change, such as the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, where countries meet to discuss and negotiate solutions to climate change. Additionally, many organizations and companies are taking action by setting ambitious sustainability goals and investing in green technologies. Let me know if you want me to find more information on any of these topics.
What are some of the international efforts to address climate change?
One of the biggest international efforts to address climate change is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, a treaty signed at the Rio Earth Summit in 1992. The convention seeks to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere at a level that would prevent dangerous human interference with the climate system. The Paris Agreement, signed in 2015, is one of the main outcomes of the UNFCCC negotiations, and aims to limit global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, is another international effort that provides scientific information on climate change to policymakers and the public. The IPCC regularly produces reports that summarize the latest scientific understanding of climate change and its impacts. In addition, there are several other international agreements that aim to address climate change, including the Kyoto Protocol, which was adopted in 1997 and aimed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from developed countries, and the Montreal Protocol, which aimed to phase out ozone-depleting substances that also contributed to global warming. Many countries are also taking domestic action to address climate change, such as implementing carbon pricing schemes and adopting renewable energy targets.
On our second topic, energy.
Sure. What would you like to know about energy? There are many aspects to this topic, such as renewable energy, energy efficiency, energy storage, and more.
Energy efficiency.
Energy efficiency refers to the use of less energy to perform the same function. Improving energy efficiency can help to reduce energy consumption, save money on energy bills, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. There are many ways to improve energy efficiency in homes and buildings, such as using energy-efficient lighting and appliances, upgrading insulation, sealing air leaks, and using smart thermostats to optimize heating and cooling. Additionally, efficient construction and design practices can also help to improve the energy performance of buildings. In industry, energy efficiency can be improved through measures such as upgrading equipment and machinery, optimizing production processes, using waste heat recovery systems, and implementing energy management systems that monitor and control energy consumption. Improving energy efficiency is often cited as one of the most cost-effective ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change. By reducing energy consumption, businesses and households can lower their carbon footprint and save money on energy bills at the same time. Governments also play a role in promoting energy efficiency by setting energy efficiency standards for appliances and buildings, providing financial incentives for efficiency upgrades, and offering energy efficiency training and education.
And on our third topic?
Certainly. What would you like to know about our third topic? Energy is a broad topic, so there are many different aspects we could explore, such as renewable energy sources, energy storage technologies, electric vehicles, energy grids, and more.
The circular economy.
The circular economy is an economic system that aims to minimize waste and maximize the use of resources. It involves reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling products and materials, rather than using them once and then disposing of them. The concept of the circular economy is based on the idea that resources are finite, and that a more sustainable approach is needed to ensure their long-term availability. One of the key principles of the circular economy is that waste can be viewed as a resource. By designing products and materials with reuse and recycling in mind, waste can be minimized and new resources can be created through recycling and repurposing. This can help to reduce the need for virgin raw materials, conserve natural resources, and reduce environmental impacts associated with extraction, processing, and disposal of materials. Another important aspect of the circular economy is the concept of closing loops. This means designing products and systems in a way that allows materials to be easily collected, sorted, and recycled or repurposed at the end of their life cycle. Closed-loop systems can help to create a more sustainable and resilient economy, reduce waste and emissions, and promote resource conservation. The circular economy is often seen as a more sustainable alternative to the traditional linear economy, which is based on the take-make-dispose model. By moving away from this model and towards a more circular approach, it is hoped that the environmental, economic, and social impacts of resource use can be reduced, while also creating new opportunities for businesses and communities.
Biodiversity and conservation.
Biodiversity refers to the variety of life on Earth, including the variety of species, ecosystems, and genetic diversity within species. Conservation refers to the protection, management, and restoration of ecosystems and species, with the goal of maintaining and restoring biodiversity. Biodiversity is important for many reasons, including maintaining the functioning of ecosystems, providing essential ecosystem services such as pollination and carbon sequestration, and supporting human well-being by providing food, medicine, and other resources. However, biodiversity is under threat from a variety of human activities, such as habitat loss, overexploitation of resources, pollution, and climate change. Conservation efforts aim to address these threats by protecting and restoring habitats, managing wildlife populations, and promoting sustainable use of resources. Protected areas such as national parks and wildlife sanctuaries are one important tool for conserving biodiversity, as they provide habitat protection and can help to prevent habitat fragmentation and degradation. In addition to protected areas, there are many other conservation strategies and tools that can be used to promote biodiversity, such as habitat restoration, invasive species management, and species monitoring and recovery programs. Conserving and restoring biodiversity is critical for maintaining healthy ecosystems, ensuring the sustainability of natural resources, and supporting human well-being.
Environmental justice and equity.
Environmental justice and equity refer to the fair and equitable distribution of environmental benefits and burdens across society, regardless of race, ethnicity, or socio-economic status. It recognizes that certain communities may face disproportionate exposure to environmental hazards such as pollution and climate change, and aims to address these disparities through policy and practice. Environmental justice is an important issue because it affects the health and well-being of communities, particularly those that are marginalized or disadvantaged. The effects of environmental hazards can range from respiratory problems to cancer and other chronic illnesses, and can have serious long-term impacts on people's health and quality of life. There are many ways to promote environmental justice and equity, such as ensuring access to clean air, water, and land, and promoting sustainable and healthy living conditions. This can involve policies that regulate polluting industries and vehicle emissions, as well as programs that provide access to green spaces and sustainable transportation options. Renewable energy and energy efficiency programs can also promote environmental justice by improving air quality, reducing energy bills, and creating job opportunities in communities that may have been marginalized. In addition to policy solutions, community-based organizations and grassroots movements play an important role in promoting environmental justice and equity, by mobilizing communities, raising awareness, and advocating for change.
Now I think we can conclude episode 4 of our podcast.
Sure. It was great discussing these important topics with you.